What's up, everybody? Matt Nuzzo. We are here at Reel to talk to you about the new Core X-Lite. So X-Lite, this is in the Specialized series, this is a dedicated kite hydrofoiling kite. So it's made for foiling. One purpose, that's it, just riding a hydrofoil on a kite. As you can see, it's a single strut kite, and the goal of this kite is to have the lightest weight kite you could possibly have that was still going to perform well. So they kind of started with the Nexus and the section platform arc, wingtip shape, trimmed out the struts, and then just started trying to see how can you save and skim to make the kite a lot lighter weight, okay? So what they ended up with is a kite that is extremely lightweight. How do they do that? One strut's gonna help. They also made a new material, the Exotex light leading edge material, which when you reduce the Dacron weight and the leading edge weight on the leading edge of the kite, it's gonna keep the kite from falling over and Hindenburging in super light winds. They did decide to go with the standard Cortex triple ripstop material, and I was wondering, why don't they use a lightweight material? Because this will reduce the flutter. It also creates more power, okay? So this kite, generally speaking, is a gutless kite, and you want that for hydrofoiling. You don't want to have the thing be super powerful, because once you dive the kite, it's gonna then pull you off the foil, right? So this kite is a gutless kite, but they still need to have some power to it, so they went with the standard triple ripstop. So it's kind of an interesting story there. It's like you design a new leading edge material, but kept the canopy when you already have a lighter weight material. And he said, no, it just gives you a lot, they tested it both ways. They said, the weight savings wasn't worth the power decrease, and also they wanted to keep it as rigid as possible by having the material being as taut as possible. They also reduced the bridle lines. They used Kite line instead of the typical bridle line on the leading edge and on the trailing edge pigtails. And then they also designed their Pro bar, which I'll get to in a little minute, the Pro foil bar, which I'll get to in a minute. But everything was about weight reduction and performance on hydrofoils. So they also wanted to make sure that, they said a lot of people are riding different size wings, and when you see them riding a performance wing, the kite's fluttering like crazy and just freaking out. They wanted to design this kite so you're riding it sheeted in, okay? So you're riding it sheeted in, and if you're doing that, there's almost virtually no flutter in this kite wherever it is. So you can ride this on a skinny, high performance wing, or you can, just really, the performance versus other single strut kites is that the upwind performance is crazy on a high performance wing. When you go to a low speed, high lift wing, it still works equally as well. Still generates that power, still generates a pull that you need to get going. So riding it, one of the things that we really notice is that there's literally you can't screw up with the kite. You turn the kite, you loop the kite, you transition the kite, do whatever you need to do, and the kite never overdoes it. Also in really light wind, it relaunches. And if you need to, we took the 12 out in super light air. We had to double a reverse line relaunch it, but it still relaunches even in really light air. So not only they make a super light kite that stays in the air and flies really well, but they just absolutely crushed on the performance of it. So for kite hydrofoiling, this is one of our most fun kites that we're using out there of the single struts, because it has a really great performance. It is really limited to having great performance just on the hydrofoil. We tried wave riding with it, tried jumping, it's just gutless. It just doesn't have much pull at all. But that feature itself, flying underpowered really well and being gutless, turns out it works great for kids. So the kite stays flying in the sky when the kids are underpowered, and also really lightweight riders, 115 pounds and lighter, love this kite because it stays flying, and then when you dive, it doesn't just yank them off the board, doesn't have that big heavy grunt, and it goes upwind really easy. So it is a dedicated kite for foiling, which is 99% of the people will use it. But if you have kids or really light riders, this might be something to consider on that one. So the other things that come with this is you've got the foil bag, which is kind of simple, but they changed the material, made this really lightweight, and it's just totally awesome. They made a new bag with kind of similar features, but new material, it kind of works really well. The Sensor 2S Pro foil bar. So they made a dedicated bar for this kite. You can see here, this is a 45 centimeter bar. Their normal bar is 52 centimeters. So having that tiny little bar, you can still fly the 12 on it, and it's still really quick. That's something Core has always done, is used really small bars for their kites and made their kites work right with these small bars. So it's really nice having that compact bar, because it just, you don't have a lot of extra bar, you're not overdoing with the kite, but it still is plenty quick. The lines are really the key thing. The fly lines, they drop down to 300 kilogram fly lines, so they're thinner lines. So they're still super, super strong, but they're thinner weight lines, so you have less drag in the air, and it is noticeable. They come stock at 22 meters. This is the first time Core dropped down from stock lines to 22 meters, and they have sections so you could drop it, keep dropping it down to make it shorter, and also comes with line extensions if you want to bring it up to 25. So people in kite foiling, some people are riding like, you know, 13 meter lines, 12 meter lines. You know, some people are riding, you know, 28, 30 meter lines. Everyone has a different opinion about what they want, and they wanted to make this bar compatible to a lot of different line lengths, so that they kind of made that special line for it, but then also made them specific line lengths for what they feel works best, but also that give you the opportunity to go up or down quite a bit. So the X-Lite dedicated foil kite, love the performance of it. It is an excellent, excellent single strut kite. If you want a kite for kite foiling on a hydrofoil, small wing or big wing, any ability level beginner to advanced hydrofoil kite, this is an amazing, amazing product. All the Core's craftsmanship goes into it, so you know it's gonna last and it's gonna hold up. And they just did an awesome job making a killer product. So if you want more reviews, you can go to realwatersports.com, or you can give us a call at shop 252-987-6000. See you guys on the water.